Hello and welcome to Gaming with Kyle. Today we're taking a look at Stellaris. This game is, in my opinion, fucking fantastic. It's a great game. It's been out for a while. As you can see, it's already up to version 1.3.2. So it's been out for a couple months, but it's a great game. It's a space simulation game. It's done by Paradox, which if you've seen some of the other videos on my channel, you'll see that I've done another one of their games, Crusader Kings 2. They do, Paradox tends to release some pretty awesome games. So, yeah, you get to create your own like custom races. There are some that come with the game, like starting from here down. These are two of my own custom ones that I made. But yeah, the real fun in this game is making your own races. You could play with one of these, and some of them, as far as I know, like the Commonwealth of Man, come with their own events and stuff, which I'll explain later in the game. But just to keep things simple, we're going to create our own empire because that's what most people do. So you get to choose what kind of aliens you are, right? You can choose to be human or some humanoid-like race, but you've got like mammalian races, reptilian, avians, so on and so forth. And I think I'm going to go with I think we're going to go with a mammalian race this time. I'm going to go with these little sloth guys. I've always liked these guys. I think they're super cute. So, and then you get to like pick your name for your race, and you can even write a biography. I'm going to skip over doing this for now. But let's just go with a random name. Let's see if I can't find one that I like. The Kroll. Oh, you know what? Actually, let's stick with Kroll. I've got an idea. Let's play a race called the Kroll, and I'm going to go with this portrait. Because you know what? I've decided just now that we are going to play a military style race. So let's pick, we can also pick name lists and ship prefixes. So like this can be like a, for instance, if you're doing like a, United Kingdom role-playing kind of race or whatever, you could be like the HMS and it'll name all your ships that. But I tend to leave it blank. And you can pick these name lists, and they determine like what random names your leaders get and planets names and stuff like that. And I'm going to go with this one. And then traits. These are kind of like specific to your species, right? So they define things about your species, like whether or not they're, for instance, strong or long-lived or whatever, And because I've decided to go with a kind of warrior species, I think I'm going to go with strong. And we're also going to go ahead and get... Some of these are really dumb, like resilient, garrison health plus 100% fortification defensive bonus. Like, the way planet conquering works in this game is like you got to position ships over a planet until the, garrison health goes down, and then you can invade. And this just delays the inevitable. Once there's ships in orbit above your planet, there's not much you can do. So it's kind of a dumb one. But I'm also going to go with industrious. And as you can see, we only get so many points, and you can only pick so many traits, right? So what these do, they're going to make strong already gives me plus 5% minerals, and then industrious gives me plus 15%, and minerals are what you use to build like practically everything, right? And strong also means my armies will do more damage, which is, good. Now you could go with very strong. Where is it? It's probably grayed out down here at the bottom. Yeah, you could go with very strong and then give you more, but as you can see, it costs 3 points, and that's kind of expensive. Excuse me. And then I think the last thing I'm going to go for is repugnant, because, well, no, sedentary. Because, race, sedentary is like, it means that it's harder to move your people from one planet to another. But a lot of times I don't do that anyways. I just prefer them to grow the population on that planet. So I normally go with sedentary, which is fine. And I could pick 2 other traits. And I'm half tempted to do that. Like get thrifty as well, because the 2 main resources are mineral and energy, right? And you'll need both of those. So I'm tempted to go with that and get like non-adaptive as well as sedentary. But non-adaptive means I won't be able to colonize as many worlds. But I'm not too worried about that. I'm not too worried about happiness, because that's what it really controls. Is like happiness is measured out of 0 out of 100%, and you can only go up to the max habitability of a planet. So on worlds that my civilization would be able to colonize, it would be 70, because your home world is the only one that should be 100% unless your species is very adaptable. Which, speaking of, let's pick our planet. You know what? I'm going to give it my own name. We're going to call it Kroll Prime. We'll name our star Krollnim. Krollnom. Yeah, there we go. I think that's cool. And then you get to choose what kind of planet you get. They come in 3 different sections. It wasn't always like this. It used to be like a planetary wheel, and the ones next to it were more habitable. But the way it works now is like you've got 3 columns. So like I could pick this one, and my species would prefer to live on desert worlds, but they could also comfortably live on arid and savanna worlds, whereas these ones would be impossible almost to manage without some sort of special technology. But I think these guys, they could look kind of woolly, so I think they live in kind of a cold world, and I think I'm going with tundra for this one. And, if you're playing, like, specific races, like, these two are for, like, the 2 different human civilizations that come with the game, but we're just going to leave it for random for now. You get to choose what your cities look like. I normally just stick with whatever kind of race I got, so since these guys are mammalian, I'm going to stick with the mammalian city. Jumping back up, I almost always skip over this one. Ruler, you can name your ruler whatever you want. I'm just going to hit random a couple times. Male, female, I don't care. It doesn't really matter. And you can change the color of your guy. Let's go with white, because like they already live on a cold planet. And this won't change your entire civilization to having the white fur, but I think it's kind of cool. This kind of looks like, and you can choose their clothes. This is all just pretty stuff that you look at. It doesn't really change the game any. It kind of looks like something a military leader would wear. And this is these determines your species government, right? And their ethics, like what they believe in. Now we decided that we were going to go with a warrior species, yeah. So let me see. With a warrior species, you got to worry about ethics divergence, which means like your entire civilization, like when you pick these, like if you go with this, your entire civilization, like all your people will start off as fanatic militarists and spiritualists. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing those right. But they can change later on if their happiness is too low or something like that. Or like for instance, when you conquer aliens, they'll have different ethics from you, and they can either diverge even further away from you, or you can start bringing them into the fold as such. Now, for like a conquering species, right? Having a strong military is important, but I'm actually gonna only go for level 1, right? And I'll explain what all these different stats do. Like, war happiness seems obvious. Like when we're at war, we're happier. Weapons damage is increased, and rivalry influence. Like rivalries are influence. I don't know, like rivalries. I'm getting my tongue twisted. Rivalries are like they give you bonus influence, which you use to spend to colonize new worlds or make political changes, stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about getting like a huge weapons boost, because as you can see, war happiness is the same regardless. And rivalry influence, like, one sec, I don't. Trains crossing the tracks down the street from me. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah. Normally I've got plenty of influence, so I'm not too worried about gaining more. What I am worried about is that ethics divergence, and as you can see, fanatic spiritualists get a minus 30%, which makes it so they don't diverge ethically. Hardly ever at all. And species that are different from you, you can bring them into your fold a lot faster, because these are like empire modifiers. As you can see, they've got 2 different types, empire and population modifiers. An empire modifier means like it happens regardless of species ethics or whatever. So like everybody in my empire, whether or not they're spiritualist or not, will get the minus 30% divergence. So that means everybody will come under my control a lot easier, and they'll like my policies a lot more. And growth time, minus 50%, that's not bad. It means your population grows faster. And that only applies to, but because it's a modifier, it only applies to the actual, it only applies if they actually have that ethic. And I'll show you what I mean when we get into the game. And then based off of these, you can choose what type of government you have. All right? And these also give their own bonuses, like you see, army damage and upkeep, stuff like that. I think I'm going to go with this one, because this is also going to give me another plus 25%, which is why another reason why I didn't go with the fanatic materialist. Not militarists. Materialists are a different thing. That's down here. They're better at research and stuff. But with those two rivalry influence combined, I'll be getting plus 50% from any rivals I have. So that's good. And it gives me extra naval capacity, which controls how many ships you're allowed to have, and it makes my ships cheaper. So, and I'm going to need those if I plan on conquering a lot. Now, empire name. Let's see what cool. Kroll Imperium, Kroll Hierarchy, United Kroll Hierarchy. Kroll Centralized States. I like that. So let's go back to our name list. Now that we've kind of got an empire name, see, we can come back to our name list and go, okay, so we're the Kroll Centralized States. To make that into a ship prefix, you could just go KCS. But you can do that. You can leave it blank if you want, or you can change it to whatever you want. Now we get to choose our flag, and this will determine what color your your borders are. And I'll show you what I mean by that. And you can also choose like a symbol. So we're going to go with, let's go down to zoological here. Quite like this one. We'll go with something like that with a bar down the middle. And now you can choose your colors. If you like go black and black, that's the only way you'll get your borders to be black. But if you pick a different color like that, which is I think the scheme I'm going to go for. But as long as you choose a color that is something other than black, it will be whatever. It doesn't matter if it's your primary or secondary. And if you do pick two colors like this, it will go with your primary. But we're going to go black and red like that. Then you get to pick your starting weapons. I almost always go energy. I think they're the best. Prove me wrong if you think differently. But yeah, I really like energy weapons. FTL method, this determines how you move around the galaxy. So different civilizations have figured out different ways to get around. And I personally like playing with wormholes. I know it says for advanced players, but honestly, in my opinion, I think wormholes are better. And I'll explain why when we get into the game. Well, actually, I can explain now. With warp travel, right, you hop from system to system, but you travel slowly between stars. And slowly, I mean relatively, like slowly, compared to these other ones. Whereas with like hyperspace travel, you've got these lanes, kind of like if you've ever played Sins of a Solar Empire, how there's different lanes between planets. Yeah, it's how you travel. So you have to like jump between the dots, basically. And so to me, both of those make it so that travel times are a lot longer. Whereas with wormholes, they have an area of influence, like a range that they can send you to. And once the wormholes open, your ships will travel instantly from that spot to the next. So there's no waiting for them to actually travel between, and there's no having to jump between stars. You just have to jump between different wormhole generators, which you'll see what I mean by that. And it just makes it so your ships can get around faster. So I personally believe wormhole travel is the best, even though it does limit how far you can go. Normally, you're not traveling too far away from your borders anyways. Then you can choose what your ships look like. Once again, it's the same thing with the cities. It's just a cosmetic thing. I just stick with the whatever, what kind of species I got. So because they're mammalian, I'm going to stick with mammalian. Go ahead and save these guys and go done. Now this is your settings for your actual game. So I'm going to stick with a medium star, but I'm actually going to bump the starting empires up to 16. And I say starting because there are civilizations that are pre-warp that can later in the game become post-warp, either through you uplifting them and helping them, or doing it on their own as time goes by. And I'm going to add another fallen empire. And these guys are like super advanced, but so much so that they've kind of retreated into themselves and stay secluded from everybody else. I'm going to bump up AI aggressiveness so they fight amongst each other more. I find with normal that the galaxy's kind of calm. I'm going to leave difficulty on normal for now. Allowed FTL method. So if you want everybody to use warp drives or hyperdrives or wormholes, you can decide that. But I just leave it on any. Cluster starts I turn off. Basically, this means like races will be truly put around the galaxy randomly rather than clustered together in different groups. That way you interact with people a lot sooner. Advanced neighbors I'm going to turn off because, like I said, I just want to keep this kind of easy. Endgame crises will leave on, and Iron Man will leave off. These are kind of like spoilers, so I don't want to go into them too much. But just to say they're fun. They're fun but dangerous. So let's start playing. Wait for it to load. It normally doesn't take too long. And here we are. So the Kroll Centralized states. In the eons since the first primitive Kroll communities took shape on the windy plains of Kroll Prime, our civilization has spread and prospered. Countless nation-states formed as we advanced through the technological ages, warring against each other until only one remained. Although the fighting was often brutal, those who survived nurtured a martial tradition that has prevailed to this day. Blah, 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 blah. This will change depending on what kind of government you pick, the ethics, so on and so forth. So, let's begin. Oh, I do have some mods installed. I forgot to mention this. I've got a lot of the Stellar expansion ones installed. Ooh, that's going to be too loud. And I also have one that gives you automatic exploration at the beginning. I always thought it was kind of silly that you didn't get this straight away. And I know getting the plus 15% survey speed is kind of a boost, but from what I understand from the mod is that it goes ahead and does this for everybody. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you. You can change what kind of galaxy generates, but I was going to go with elliptical anyways. So, sorry about that. So the first thing I want to do, let's go in here and turn the master volume down to about there. Okay. So first thing you want to do is pick your technologies. Now, for physics and engineering, you pick whatever, suits you best. For me, I'm going to go with powered exoskeletons because that's going to give me even more minerals. And minerals are super important early on. It's how you build everything. And I do mean, like, everything. Right? And, sorry, I had a little brain fart there. And for physics, I'm going to go ahead and pick physics lab. Because a lot of these technologies you want, like, because they include shields and stuff. Things that make your ships better. As well as produce more energy, which energy becomes like a tight resource very early on. So you kind of want to get to the point where you're getting a lot of energy a lot quicker. Now, I could go for solar panel network, and that will help me get more energy, but I normally don't find it's worth it. So I'm just going to go with physics lab. Now, under society, you almost always pick colony ship, unless you are playing a very specific strategy. But I've not found one in which you don't want to start with getting colony ships. Which I find it kind of silly that you don't get these at the beginning of the game, but alas, such is the way things are. I could get a mod that probably gives you this from the get-go, but I don't want to mod my game too much. And I'll show some of the technologies that show up that are actually modded technologies. And then after that, and you still haven't unpaused the game yet, after that you want to go to your surface of your home world, which is right here. It's kind of weird. It's like the closest planet to the star, but it's cold. That doesn't make much sense. But whatever. So you come here, and these tiles represent different resources. Now, to grow your planets, you need food, right? And if you come over here, you can see. We produce 11.4 and consume 7. You want a positive number for your population to grow. And the bigger the positive number, the faster your population will increase. And so normally at the beginning of the game, any tiles that have food, like this one, you want to go ahead and build farms on. Now, if I were to build a farm here, it would have gotten rid of that +2 minerals, and I don't want to do that just yet. And I also see this tile, but it's got with food, but it's got a sprawling sums tile blocker, which means I can't build anything until I clear it. So I'm going to go ahead and start clearing that. Oop, just bumped my mic, sorry about that. I'm going to go ahead and start clearing that. And once that's finished, I'm going to probably move this guy over there. And that does mean I'm going to be losing some minerals, but I'm getting quite a lot of bonuses towards minerals, so I'm not too worried. What I really want is this planet to get to full population as quickly as possible. Now, some of these other resources, like energy and minerals, I've already kind of covered. Energy is kind of like your currency. So, like, ships cost energy per month, and, buildings cost energy per month. And some things, like the tile blockers, for instance, cost energy to remove. But most things only require minerals. Whereas minerals, like I said before, are practically used to build everything. Like, as you saw when I build those, I'll just cancel it real quick so I can show you. Cancel both of these. You can see it doesn't require energy, it just requires minerals. So we'll go ahead and do that again. And then these ones, engineering, society, and physics research, those just are points towards your research. You see, this technology costs 360, so I'm making plus 5 a month, so 65 times 5 is 360. That's how that's figured out. So to get your research up faster, you want to build more buildings that increase research. But these numbers can also go up, like the cost will go up with however many planets you have and how much population you have. That way, just because you're a huge sprawling empire, you're not suddenly researching everything 10 times faster than like a tiny dude who's only got like 2 stars. So looking at the galactic map, your homeworld has like a sensor range that can show you about what's nearby. So we already know that there's 2 planets, and that's what these green things mean. It means there's 2 planets that we could colonize comfortably. There's Stratala 3 and Zelmadoc 1. So what you want to do is you want to go survey those. But before we even start surveying other systems, we want to survey our own. Because when we do this, we can find more of those resources, like the minerals and energy and research. So there's 2 main ways to collect those things. It's through building mining stations or research stations above planets, or colonizing them and using the tiles. Colonizing them is preferable because you can get a lot more, but some planets, like for instance this one, is a barren planet. Nobody can colonize that. So yeah. Finally, we can unpause the game because we set my science ship to go ahead and survey this system. We can actually set it to automatically explore, and it'll just do that, so I'm just going to leave it like that, and he'll just jump to the other systems and whatever. Another thing I want to do, because I'm a wormhole empire, I want to go ahead and scout out all these systems, see if there are any enemies or aliens nearby. And as you can see, like these ones, I can already see what's here because they're within my sensor range, but like out here, I have no idea what's here. I can't even open it up. Some planets like this one, I've got low intel, which means I've kind of got an idea what's here, but not really. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go and jump out to any of these systems that are outside of our border range. That way we can find out if there's any enemies that we need to avoid, or, anything like that. Or if there's anything of interest, like, there's enclaves, which are like stations that can help you do stuff. I know, I'm super descriptive. So there we go. Got that set up. Now our construction ship, these are how you build the mining stations and stuff above planets. But I can't do that right now, so we're going to go ahead and pause the game and speed it up to fastest. There goes my little 3 military ships. They're going to come out here. I'm going to open a wormhole, and once that wormhole's opened, they'll just go out. And see, now they're in a different system. Well, it's kind of hard to see. They're just jumping in and out, showing me what's there. You see? Like, here, Alpine World. See how it's yellow? We could colonize that, but it wouldn't be as nice as one of these tundra worlds. You see? So they're just jumping in and out. Oh, okay. So, anomalies. These are... there's a lot of explaining to do. Anomalies are really cool. They're like events. Like, so your science ship find these, and your science ships have these leaders on them, which I didn't really explain leaders. But they have different skills. They can be between level 1 or 5, and based off of the level, they can do anomalies. And like a level 1 can do a level 5 anomaly, but the chance of failure is way high. As you can see, this one's only a level 2, and it's already got a 55% failure risk. So I'm just going to ignore it for now, because I don't want to run the risk of not completing it. So let's leave me for now, and our guy will keep doing that. But to explain leaders a little bit better, our leaders are kind of like, you know, you have scientists and then you have governors. Let me go here, and they all provide different bonuses to planets. So, like for instance, my governor is adding plus 2% happiness, and like if we come over here, we can see that under their happiness. You know, it's skill plus 2%, and capital world plus 10. And this is what I meant by ethics divergence as well. You know, see all this different stuff is giving you bonuses. It gets very complicated, this game. And I'm only realizing that now as I'm trying to explain it. So now we're just kind of waiting. This video's already 25 minutes long. I'm going to try and keep it under 30 minutes, so I've got about 5 minutes left. So hopefully something more exciting happens. So we've been surveying the system. Ooh. Okay, so this is exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, here we go. This is an enclave. Now, I'm really lucky that I got one so close to me. These guys can provide different things, and I think because their lights are blue, like different enclaves have different colored lights. So, like, because these ones are blue, they're a scientist enclave. You can have like artisans, scientists, and trader ones. And, like the trader ones, you can trade resources back and forth, and so they're really helpful. Scientist ones will help you do better research, as well as helping you with some of the other things that are hidden away. They'll teach you about that. Or, you know, there's the artist ones, and they can help your civilization become happier and stuff. So, yay, that's interesting. We're not gonna, that gave me what's called a situation log kind of thing. I don't know what they're actually called. But, like, you can research these. But by researching this, right, if I just click it real quick and come over here, busy with special project. That's what they're called, special projects. It stops me from researching whatever technology is associated, and you can see up here in the top right corner, or right here, that it's society research. And I don't want to slow down my colonizing tech just yet, because I want to get that as quickly as possible. So we're just going to not bother them for right now. You know, I'm not too worried about somebody else coming along and taking them away from us, or destroying them, because like look at their ship, or their not attack power, their military power. It's 10.3. You know, most of us starting races are only getting like 75, so I'm not too worried about losing them. So we'll go ahead and unpause again. What I was saying before, actually I'm pausing again. What I was saying before, though, before that event popped up, was, as you can see, our scientist ship has been kind of going around surveying these different planets, and we've discovered that some of these worlds and asteroids have different bonuses, like plus 2 minerals, plus 2 minerals. So we can take our construction ship and go ahead and send them out here to build mining stations. Now, normally these cost 90, but because of my civilization leader, I think, I don't think it's him that's doing it. Let's see. Okay. Well, normally they cost 90. I think that the minus ship cost is actually affecting our station times as well, station building as well. Unless it has something to do with my government. Nope. Well, yeah, if it is ship cost, then yeah, it's causing it to drop down as well. So, yeah. Normally they cost 90 minerals per turn, but because I've got that bonus to ship cost, it's making them cheaper. So they're only costing 67. So normally these cost 90, but you know, I can build them for cheaper. And you can queue things up by holding down shift and right clicking. So we're just going to go ahead and have him build those 3 stations, because we need minerals. Now each of these stations, though, costs 1 energy per month, and we're only making 2 per month. So that means we're actually going to be running negative energy here soon. But our population should be growing fast enough that I'm not overly at all worried about that. So we're just going to move this guy over and build a hydroponics farm now that that's been cleared out. That way our population starts growing faster and faster. Next 2 populations I'm going to go ahead and leave on here. That way they collect the minerals. Ooh. See, he just finished that station. But I'm going to go ahead and leave these without any buildings just yet. That way I'm getting the food bonus and the minerals. But once 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 this planet is fully populated, I'll probably cover these with mining networks, which will give them a bonus to mineral production. But it will also negate the food production, like it won't be able to be collected anymore. So our science ship just finished surveying this system, so he's just going to jump out and find other systems, because he's set to automatic. Ooh, let's see this. The KCS Sepper Kerendurad has made a startling find in Ep.1. The planet is teeming with alien life. For the first time in history, we have encountered life forms that did not originate on Kroll Prime. This amazing discovery has silenced all those who believed we were alone in the universe. Although none of the alien creatures found on Ep.1 are sentient, it is likely only a matter of time before we encounter beings that are. So doing that gives me a little bonus to society research. If you ever get like extra points and stored points in society research, or any of the other researches, the way it works is it's not like it's used instantly on whatever you're researching. It doubles your production. So because I'm making +5 society research naturally, I'm actually gonna make more like 10, because it's doubled until I run out. So like I'll get my regular 5, and then I'll get 5 from my stored until that runs out. If that makes sense. Like, let me show you if you run it. See how it dropped by 5 then as the month ticked over? I'm pointing at my screen. That doesn't really help. The month's over here. As the month ticks over, that's when everything kind of gets calculated. So as the month ticked over, this research got the normal +5 from that I get every month regardless, plus an extra 5 from my stored. As you can see, we don't have any stored in the other types. And we got that just for finding a planet with life on it. Ooh, hey look, there's something here that gives us energy. I'm going to go ahead and tell my construction ship once he's done with... excuse me. Once he's done with that, we're going to go ahead and send him over here. Alright, so I'm on 32 minutes. So this video's run quite a while long now. So we're going to call it for there. That's how you kind of get set up with your first system. You know, start building stuff out. I got really lucky here, if I'm honest. I got a lot of minerals and an energy in my first system. A lot of times your home system might be completely empty, or might only have research stations, which early in the game aren't as important as getting your minerals. Because sure, you can research the crap out of things, but not really helpful if you can't build them. So yeah, thanks for watching. I've been Kyle with Gaming with Kyle, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you around next time.